Hey guys, Danny Jugan with Axis Games here. What we got for you in this video is going to be something a little bit different, something we've never done before. I want to kind of give you guys some insight into how the whole process of creating the game works. And so I'm going to record and talk through some of the development of the game. What I'm working on today is some of the title screen uh, GUI stuff. I'm working on creating the menus for selecting the different teams and that sort of thing. And like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm not really sure how it's going to go. When I typically work on stuff, it's listening to music or just sitting quietly, that sort of thing. So I'm not used to talking through things, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and get started. You can see that I've got some of the title screen done already, and this is a brand new design. Big shout out to Joe Accardi, who has done a whole set of screens and menus for the new game, and it's really going to take it up to the next level in terms of how the game looks and hopefully feels. And yeah, he's done awesome work, so I'm really excited to get this into the game. So I've got the kind of the main title screen that you'll see here. I'll run the game real quick and you guys can see it in action. So what I'm going to be doing this morning, and it's if I sound a little tired or my throat scratchy, it is about 5:30 here, so I'm still waking up a little bit, but this is when I get most of my development done. So what we're going to be doing today is working on the quick matchup team select section of this. So I'm going to hide the main menu section, and let's take a look at the team select here. So there's a couple of things that I want to add to this before we start looking at coding some of this stuff. Is I want to put the numbers on the side. I was talking with Joe and we agreed that it'd be good to show the numbers, especially for the overall. So we're going to put some numbers along the sides here. So go into overall, and let's put in, I want to create new text, and we'll put this and say this is the home value. And we'll put this up here, and we'll anchor this to the middle and pull this out to the side here. So this is font size 33, so we'll do the same here and pull in the font that we're using, which is this XO 2.0. Right. Alright, so what I'm doing is just setting the values for the text that's going to appear over here. So this is the kind of the edit view, and this is what it'll look like in game. See, I've got to pull it up just a little bit. Let's zoom in on it. Go middle. And let's see how that looks. Just go up just a little bit. Say 2. There we go. I'm going to change the height to match. Because I want it to match this text box exactly. There we go. And we might change the color of the overall so that it stands out a little bit more, because that's one of the more important characteristics. Let's get the spacing right. That looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. So we're at negative 330. I'm going to duplicate. This will be our away value. And let's put that at positive 330. Make sure we do a left align. And that looks good. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing with these two, and we're going to copy them down for these other three. Okay, so put them offense here. And then we want to set these to 0 and 0. Let's paste in here again for defense. Set both of these to 0. And finally for special, we'll paste them in here as well. Make sure we child them and set those to 0 also. Okay, so now that we've got those, I need to go into the script that controls them, and I want to put in references to both of those text boxes so that we can change the values. So we'll say home value, away value. Save this. We'll let the script update. And then we see those down here, and I'm going to grab home value here, away value here, and I need to do that for the others as well. So basically what this does is this connects the code to the actual text boxes so that I can change the values in code, and it'll change here as well. So we'll read the data in from the files and adjust them accordingly. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to add kind of a next button here, or a play button. So from here, once the users select their team, they will go and pick some various options, what stadium they want to play in, if we get to adding new stadiums, the weather, the uniforms, that sort of thing. So let's get that done. So here's the middle section. So we'll do the bottom. I'm going to create a new button. And for this button, we're going to do this. So we'll call this play button, and let's edit the text here. So again, we'll pull in our normal font. We'll change this to play, change the color to white so that we can see it, and we'll bump up the font size. So let's do 160 by 55, and let's increase the size of this. Let's maybe do 35. And I think I want to move the whole thing up a little bit. There we go. Alright. So I think I would rather just, I don't want this stretched. I want it to be I want to be able to specify the size. So we'll go 55, 160 for the text box. And then we want to add, we need to add coach mode in, but we might add coach mode in on the other screen. And I might actually change this to say next. So I think that makes more sense. Okay. And I think I like that font better. Okay, so when we mouse over the button, I want to have it change colors so that you know you're mousing over it. So what I'm going to do is, we'll go back over to our scene. This kind of yellowish orange has been the kind of the theme color. It's the color that's in the new Access Football logo. So that's what I'm going to use for our highlighted color, so when you mouse over it, it'll adjust that as well. Alright, so let's see how this runs. And there was something that, so when you mouse over it, it only changes the color of the button itself. So I don't know how I feel about that. That's something I'll have to look at a little bit later. Alright, something with this. I'm looking at some options. There's basically what happens if you mouse it over this and you click, it doesn't change. It doesn't. It should go back to white. And there's a fix for it, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So I'll have to look that up a little bit later. So what I want to do now is I want to look at kind of changing these graphics and changing the names and changing these values based off of you know, what teams are loaded in. So I'm going to go back to our scripts and let's take a look at pulling some of these in. So if we go to, let's go to our title screen script. And basically what I want to happen is when we start, this is what we see. Okay, and when we click on quick matchup, I want this to go away and the other screen to pop up. And so let's take a look at this. I'm going to need references to those different screens. So let's see what we've got. I'm going to grab a reference to our main menu and our team select menu, so that when we click on the quick matchup, we're calling show quick match types right here. And I've got some of this code commented out. That's what these two little lines mean, which means it doesn't run. Because keep in mind, I'm working on the 2015 version. Like, we could go back and look at, you know, what you're used to seeing from the 2015 version, which is this. And so I'm completely redesigning the UI, but I'm using the code base that was there before, but obviously some of it's got to be changed because we're doing brand new stuff. So that is what I'm doing. So when we go to show quick match types, I'm going to take our main menu and I'm going to set it to not show. So let's test that. To assign it, because we got an error. So right here we see main menu. It's right here, and we'll grab the quick match setup. I'm going to change this because it's not team. We'll call this, yeah, I guess it is team select menu. I'll change this to reflect it. It's the team select menu. So we'll try it now. Hide, which is what we want. And so when that hides, we want to take our team select menu and we want to show it. So we'll hide this, show this, and let's get our button set up. So let's try look at it, transition, aspect ratio. Okay, so what I want to be able to do is so if you look down at this bottom bar, this is kind of like the status of what is currently happening. And so I want to change that based off of what we're doing. And so when we go to show quick match types, actually, let's do, yeah, let's say set status text. We'll just say quick match. And that'll change that bottom text to say quick match. And the other thing I want to do is give users the option to go back once they are already in a particular section of the menu. So I'm going to take this exit game button and duplicate it, and I'm going to change it and call it a back button. Okay, and then inside of our GUI assets, I'm going to make it the back button to look like this. Set the native size. We'll put it at -50. And then this will be, let's say, public void return to main menu. So we will call return to main menu when we click on that button. And when we do that, I'm going to call hide all menus. Menus? No, menus. I'm not a very good speller. Luckily it doesn't matter. So we'll say public void hide all menus. And I'll call this when I want to basically go back to the main, go back to the main title screen. So we will return to main menu, we will set the default status text, and we will say main menu dot set active true. For hide all menus, we're going to take all of the other menus that we have and hide them. Right now we only have the quick or the team select menu, so we'll put that here, set active false. Okay. When we go to show the quick match types, I need a reference to our quit button. So we'll say if I just So I'm using built-in GUI system. I've never used it before, but I've done plugins very recently that I guess. So just turn off image So let's do this. I think it makes more sense to store these as images. No, I'll store them as game objects. I'll put game object. What am I doing? This is the quit button and the back button. I'm going to try storing them as an image. We'll see how that works. So now that we've created variables for them, we'll actually go in and assign references. So we got our quit button and we got our back button. Because when we go to show quick match types, I want to take the quit button and set enabled equals false. Because it's an image, we'll access the enabled property, and then when we return to the main menu, we will say quit button dot enabled equals true, and we want to say the back button dot enabled equals true, because by default it'll be false when we hide it or when we start it. So we're basically just swapping the two. So when the game starts, our quit button is going to show. This is, we don't want that showing, and we want to do our back button is not showing either. We want this. So we'll try and see how this works. Let's do this. Alright, so I can still exit the game. It won't exit. When I click on quick match up, this changes to quick match. I can go back. And it pops up. So go back in here. Hopefully do the same thing again. Not that anybody will, but that's just stuff. Just resets back to action football. That's good. I like that. So what we're going to do from here, I think this is probably a good stop in the video. I wanted you guys to rethink how this works and show you that it's not a really quick process. But what I'll be doing from here, and I'd like to put these out, once a week or so, just so that you guys can, one, see where we are in terms of development, and two, get a little bit of an insight to how this whole process works. And so I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear whether or not this was interesting to watch at all, what I could do a little bit different, what you liked and that sort of thing. So definitely down in the comment section, let us know what you think. And from here, what I will be working on is in the team select menu, going through and actually as you click on these buttons, it changes the values to whatever they are. So I've got to read them in from the file, and then I'm also going to be changing these graphics based off of that. Again, big props to Joe. He did a great job designing these. They look really good. But as promised, instead of these being written into the game, we will be loading these in from external files, which hopefully you'll figure out that means you can put whatever you want in there. You can put in NFL teams if you want. You can put in college teams, whatever kind of graphics you want. You'll be able to load in your own custom teams. You'll obviously be just replacing whatever teams are there. So instead of the Arizona Redbirds, you can load in another team. Again, everything will be fully moddable, the stats, the players, all that sort of stuff, which will be hopefully exciting for you guys. So again, let me know what you think down in the comments and about the kind of future of this series. And thanks again for watching.